Good afternoon. Glad you're with us on this Monday. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan in for Felicia, who's off today. Thanks for watching 13 News at 4 o'clock.
A lot to get to. Also ahead this hour, we are learning more about the newest member of the Indiana Fever. Now, normally you wouldn't see somebody new at this point in the season, but team injuries just keep piling up ahead of their face-off with the Mystics. So the Fever got an emergency hardship exception. We're looking into what exactly that means, and we'll have much more on that straight ahead as well. But we begin here at 4 o'clock with an arrest in a deadly overdose at a local gym.
You might recall this got a lot of conversation and media attention. It was an overdose back in November. It was at that Planet Fitness gym that's located near US 31 and County Line Road. IMPD says that their task force has been investigating and helped track down the woman that they now think is responsible.
Our Ashton Hackman is on this story today looking into what led to this arrest. So Ashton, what have you learned?
Yeah, like so many dealing resulting in death cases, police say it started by looking at the victim's cell phone. So that's where they started. It all happened back on November 11th. Employees at the gym found 39-year-old Derek Sink laying unresponsive over the tanning bed. He had gone into the tanning room 3 days earlier. Paramedics declared Sink was dead when they got to the scene. The coroner confirmed he died of a fentanyl overdose. That's when the IMPD task force picked up the case. They say investigators searched through the messages on his phone. Court documents say he was texting with 41-year-old Heather Bradford. Police say they uncovered messages showing Sink and Bradford trying to buy drugs.
These situations are tragic for the families involved. They're tragic for the community. They're all affected by it. We hope to bring some justice to them, but we also hope that it's a deterrent to individuals who are profiting off of this crisis and this tragedy that's occurring in our neighborhoods.
This now marks the 5th fatal drug overdose arrest by the task force this year. Now, I also was on the phone with Sink's aunt. She reacted and actually helped with part of this investigation. I'll have more from her and that conversation ahead at 5.
All right, Ashton, thank you. We'll look forward to that. In the meantime, other news now.
Former Colts player and coaches joined Jim Irsay's family along with state and local officials for a private funeral service today for the Colts team owner.
Mr. Irsay died on May 21st. He was just 65 years old, and hundreds came together today to attend the service this afternoon at the North Side at St. Luke's Methodist Church. Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy was there reading scripture, and singing today was John Mellencamp.
This was like a reunion for the Colts Super Bowl teams. The casket was carried by a Colts motor coach, which the family also rode in with an IMPD police motorcycle escort leaving the church. More on this coming up at 5. Happening now, a court hearing is underway for the driver accused in a crash that killed a former HSE football player. Trey Williams is being charged as an adult in the death of HSE grad Mason Alexander. Now, Williams was 17 at the time of the crash. He is now 18. Prosecutors charged Williams with reckless homicide, reckless driving, and having a fake ID in adult court. Our 13 News team is in the courtroom. Of course, we'll bring you updates as soon as we get them.
A former Brownsburg daycare worker was in court today facing multiple charges that include child molestation and exploitation. Police arrested Gabriel Garner last month. He used to work at Main Street University for Kids. He's already pled not guilty to the first 43 charges that do include possession of child pornography. In court today, he pleaded not guilty to the remaining charges against him as well. Police also arrested the owner and the director of the daycare from the West Side. They now are facing 7 charges each for obstruction of justice, failing to report, and neglect of a dependent. Right now, that daycare is closed. Attorneys say at last count, there are 8 victims in this case.
All right, anybody who was around in 1990 certainly remembers this. You couldn't forget it. Tonight is the 35th anniversary of the largest tornado outbreak in Indiana history between June 2nd and June 3rd. Of 1990. A total of 37 tornadoes swept through this state. That storm killed 8 people, 6 of them in the small city of Petersburg, which is down in Pike County in the southwest part of the state. And hundreds of others were hurt. And that storm system also destroyed more than 900 homes and 260 mobile homes in Indiana. Just an incredible amount of damage. What an impact that system made.
And we've had kind of a nice weather today, but we have had a very active tornado pattern this spring.
Yeah, it has been. Thankfully, we're going to kind of settle things down for a couple of days. The focus has kind of gone from severe weather to the haze we've had in the sky coming from the wildfires up in Canada here. So want to show you where we are in terms of where the severe weather is taking place for today across parts of the Texas Panhandle, across parts of Minnesota. Quiet as a mouse here locally, but you probably have seen that haze across the sky here. This is what's going on. Visible satellite, you see a little bit of that cloud cover, which looks like cloud cover, but it's actually that elevated smoke, and the air quality as a result has gotten into the moderate range here. And this is probably going to be a theme as we move forward, because this smoke layer is not going to break down for another couple of days. We're flirting with 80 degrees. We should get into the 80s, our warmest day since the middle of May here in a couple of hours. Dew points comfortable, so it's a perfect afternoon to get out and enjoy unless you have a sensitive respiratory system, and you'll probably notice the air quality issues that we've had. So here you go. The smoke layer is going to be around. Air quality is moderate, and we're going to eventually get rid of this thing by the latter part of the week. In between now and then, it's going to get a little more humid, and we're going to have storm chances, all covered in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, thank you. Now to that attack in Boulder, Colorado over the weekend. Today we learned police are investigating it as an act of terrorism. First, want to get an update with traffic. Here's Rob.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to let you know about. We do have one new accident that just popped up. It's not even on the board yet, but very quickly I'll show you where we're tracking. This is the one that we're looking at, 70 westbound. This is as you approach the city, approach the north split. Let me take you to one of the traffic cameras because it will show you it is blocking really the middle lanes, which is the worst scenario here. It's not, you can easily pull that off to the left, but we do have a vehicle that looks like it's wedged underneath perhaps a trailer there. So watch this. 70 westbound already backs up. This is only going to complicate that issue. Also want to let you know about the continued ongoing lane closures that are happening 65 southbound at Raymond Street. This usually backs up once we get into the 4 o'clock hour all the way up to the south split, through the splits, and eventually has impacts on 70 westbound and 65 southbound. With the two accidents that we're looking at on the board there, I think we're going to have continued problems even as we get through what is normally a very busy hour.
Ooh, just what we don't want to hear. All right, we'll get another update soon, Rob. Thank you. All right, now to that attack in Boulder, Colorado over the weekend. We've been learning more about it today. We learned police are investigating it actually as an act of terrorism.
And they say the suspect in that case used a makeshift flamethrower to set people on fire. At last count, at least 8 people injured. Police arrested a suspect.
Lee Waldman is on this story, and she has details.
A male with a blowtorch setting people on fire.
Chaos in Boulder, Colorado Sunday as a man yelling "Free Palestine" allegedly used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to set people on fire during a Jewish community event.
I need more ambulance. Send me at least 4 or 5.
We got bombarded with lots of 911s. I know that there was at least one party rolling around in flames.
Witnesses describe seeing the flames as people poured buckets of water onto burn victims. At least 8 people were hurt between the ages of 52 and 88, according to authorities. Among the injured is a Holocaust survivor. 2 victims were airlifted to the Denver metro area, with one victim, quote, very seriously injured, police said.
She really felt like this happened not just to her, but to the whole community and the Jewish community and the larger community. This was a trauma that affects a lot of people.
The suspect had been identified as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon, according to the FBI. Boulder County jail records show he was booked Sunday on multiple felony charges, including 1 count of explosives or incendiary devices used during a felony, and charged with a federal hate crime. Solomon is not a U.S. citizen and overstayed a tourist visa, officials said. One law enforcement source said after committing the attack, Solomon said, quote, "I did it to avenge my people."
We will continue to support the victims and help uncover the events leading up to this terrible attack.
Solomon is being held on a $10 million bond, according to jail records. I'm Lee Walden reporting.
Russia and Ukraine holding round 2 of peace talks today in Istanbul, Turkey. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his defense minister was sent to that meeting that was with Russian officials. The first round of talks ended with a prisoner exchange, but no agreement on how to stop the war. Both sides of the talk are expected to make a statement about the meeting today. One source said the meeting did not end negatively. Once we learn more, we'll bring you an update.